Door-to-door roofing sales is a numbers game, but it is not the numbers game that most people think it is. So no, you will not have the cheat code to earning a bunch of money by simply go knocking more doors. That's what everyone says. And this video is inspired by this comment right here that said, hey, I heard door-to-door is a numbers game. What are your thoughts on this? Well, I'll tell you my thoughts. It's not a numbers game. It's a 3 numbers game. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 3 numbers that you need to know about your door-to-door sales performance so you can pinpoint exactly what you need to improve and why to become the very best version of you. And of course, make even more money. Welcome or welcome back. My name is Adam Bensman, and I am so glad to have you here because I've walked a million miles in your shoes and I've knocked doors just like you. I got into this business in 2011 as a starving massage therapist earning under $20,000 a year when my stepdad, Ron, told me about an opportunity in roofing sales to make 6 figures with 0 experience going door to door. I thought it was absolutely nuts, but I did it. In fact, I 7x'd my income in 8 months. So what I want to share with you now is how you can elevate your thinking, because when you elevate your thinking, you elevate your income. So let's rock and roll into today's video. Right before we write down these 3 numbers, I want to share with you why we are looking at these 3 numbers. Each of these numbers will tell you a story, and they'll help you pinpoint exactly what you need to fix and why. So, you ready to find out? Let's get into it. Number 1 on the list is your contact rate. This is the number of people you talk to divided by the number of doors that you knock. Now, let's say on a terrible day, as an example, you only get in front of 5 people, but you knock on 100 doors. That equals a 5% contact rate. Again, this contact rate equals people that you talk to. Now, it doesn't mean that you end up that you end up getting anywhere with them. It's the fact that they answer the door and you talk to them. That is your contact rate. So if you only talk to 5 people out of 100, what does that tell you? What it tells you is that you're probably in a neighborhood during a time when you shouldn't be. Now, every neighborhood has its own pulse. There's some neighborhoods where you might have a white collar worker who's working a traditional 9 to 5 and then sitting in rush hour traffic to get home. They might not get home till 6. So those neighborhoods you want to be in from 6 o'clock till dark and on Saturday. Now, on the flip side, you might be in a neighborhood that's a heavy blue collar community. Maybe they're doing shift work and they're off at 1 or 2 in the afternoon because they start at 6 in the morning. Well, you've got a great opportunity to work that neighborhood from 2 o'clock on. And likewise, you might find a neighborhood that is saturated with retirees, and they often are home all day, every day. And you might have good luck knocking doors in the morning. So your contact rate is going to be an indicator of whether or not you're in the right neighborhood at the right time. So you can start experimenting on when you show up. And hey, this is a great way to use the multi-touch marketing strategy that I teach, where when you're at the door and no one's home, you leave a letter. And I'm talking plain piece of paper, printed out letter, hand signed, folded up with blue painter's tape on the door. This way, when you come back, you have an easy reference. Now let's get into number 2. Number 2 on the list is your set rate, and that is the number of inspections or appointments you get divided by the number of contacts. So let's say, as an example, you have 3 people that you get an inspection or on the roof out of 10 people that you contact. That would equal a set rate of 30%. Now, a quick note on these numbers that I'm sharing. What's important for you to recognize and embrace is that finding benchmarks across the industry is actually far harder to get accurate in a way that would even be helpful for you. And here's why. Whether you're selling storm damage work or retail is going to play a really big difference. I can explain. In a storm damage environment, if you're in an area that has actually had damage, almost every single home in that area is going to need a roof. And for most of them, insurance is going to be picking up at least a portion of the bill. And I know things are changing. Now, if you're knocking for retail, you have to be very targeted on your list, and not every homeowner needs a new roof. Now, we have other complexities to add to this. Let's say, for example, you're in a storm damage environment and you're working hail or even a hurricane. Homeowners with really high deductibles and homeowners that are just totally tired of people knocking on their doors, like let's say the competitive market of Dallas, Texas, You're going to have lower contact rates because people might not come to the door. We've seen this in Florida specifically after hurricanes is shared inside the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance community. And you'll also see that in really competitive markets like Dallas, Texas. People are tired of door knockers. They don't answer the door. And or they've been, as we call it, knocked to death. So they're just less receptive. Even if you have a high contact rate, doors are getting slammed in your face. So the one number that you need to track is your own, because your job is to continually improve upon your previous benchmark. And even if, let's say, your contact rate was 30%, but you got it up to 36%, that's not a 6% gain. That's a 20% gain. You got 20% better. I know the math sounds crazy, but 30 to 36% isn't 6%. 10% better would be 3% more, and then 20% would be 6% more. So that's why what you want to do is just focus, how do I just get better than I was yesterday, last week, last month, last quarter, last year? Now, let's get back into the set rate, and I'll tell you what this is telling you. Now, what your set rate is going to indicate is how good is your pitch, okay? How good is your pitch? Now, there are what I'll call three main elements of your pitch, and I'll just see if I can jot these down right here. So number one is our opener. This is how we start the conversation with a homeowner because our goal is to keep them in conversation. And number two is the open-ended question that we ask. Okay. Now, the reason that I start with an open-ended question is an open-ended question might be something like, hey, where are you at in the process? Or when was the last time you had your roof inspected and routine maintenance conducted? They require more than a yes or no. A yes or no is a close-ended question, and it makes it really easy for people to reject you. So by asking an open-ended question like where are you at in the process, or what did your insurance company say when they came out, or when was the last time you had your roof inspected, any of those questions require someone to give considerable thought and a thoughtful response. Now, the other thing that is most important is it is a very pointed question that gets you right to the root of what you need to know to then P in my SLAP formula. P is present to their answer. Now, in the canvassing training that I teach, which is available exclusively to RSRA members at the moment, there are 11 true to life scenarios that you need to be prepared for in the field. And a lot of people will be like, oh, roofing's easy. You just show up and you sell a roof. No. It's actually much more complicated than, let's say, solar, or at least the heyday of solar before things change. And we need to know these 11 different responses. And I'll share at the end of this video a link to a great video to teach you what I call a pitching matrix, so you know exactly what to pull from. But as you're going through your pitch at the door, your set rate is going to indicate, okay, is your opener good? Yes or no? Are you asking the right question? And are you competently presenting to their answer? And if you're not, the fix is to start doing role play, to get someone to shadow you, or to leverage technology like Zero, for an example, that will record on your phone the conversations that you're having at the door and provide insights and coachable moments and the opportunity for an owner or manager to, or even team members to give you feedback. So that is number two. Now, number three on the list is, oops, I scrolled right past it, is your close rate. And that is the number of inspections or appointments divided by the roofs sold. So as an example, let's say you talk to you close 4 deals out of 10 people, you have a 40% close rate. And I know in the comment section, we're going to hear people, I close everyone I talk to. And I need to give some context to a close rate. You will hear people that give you this response. Well, if I talk to them, I close them. And what that tells you is you have an emotional salesperson who is not tracking anything. No one is closing at 90 to 100%, or if I talk to them, I close them. You will see close rates vary across the board from the retail side in a 20 to 30%. You'll see people going north 40 to 50, maybe even inching up towards 60% with really dialed sales systems. And on the insurance side, you'll see the same. Again, this is knocking for storm damage. These huge variations from the 20s to the, let's say, 50, 60%. But again, what's important is you measuring against yourself, not against others. There are way too many factors at play based on competition, whether it's storm or retail, whether the homeowner has a really high out-of-pocket expense or a lower out-of-pocket expense. All of these, oh yeah, and then there's the storm cycle. Is it fresh? Is it old? How aware of the damage was the homeowner? And all of these factors create this really unique market that you and only you are experiencing. So don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Worry about improving your numbers. And when you focus on these three, and specifically your close rate, let's get into that for a second. When you focus on your close rate and inching it up, again, the fix, do role play, follow the car park formula. I did an entire training here on YouTube to teach you my formula. Focus on closing, which, again, I've done videos here on YouTube teaching you my favorite closing techniques. But I will share just one little gem with you is when you look at improving your close rate, before you say, I want to scrap it all and start over, I want you to focus on three things. One is your opener. Are you asking the right questions to discover what it is that you need to present? Because without asking the right questions in your opener, you end up selling generic solutions like everybody else. We sell roofs, right? Number two is objection handling in the middle. A lot of people aren't handling objections proactively. They say, I'm going to do a really great job through my presentation and hope and pray that no one asks me any questions. So it's important that you overcome objections proactively throughout the process, including the comment questions. And then number three is actually closing the business. Usually it is one of these three things that is a very fast fix for you to improve your opener, to ask the right questions. Two, to proactively address the right objections and questions throughout the process. Or three is to actually ask for the business and close effectively. And when you do just those little tweaks before you overhaul everything, you will watch your close rate increase. So there are the three numbers that you must know: contact rate, set rate, close rate. Which one do you need to work on to improve your business? Drop a comment and share it with me. And as promised, I want you to jump into this very next video to learn the pitching matrix, because it will prepare you for anything you face in the real world.